Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den. So, y'all, this is my review recap for Sistas Keep It 100. Season 5, Episode 6. Okay. Do y'all want me to keep it real with y'all? I think that y'all do. If we are going to be honest, y'all, I'm over it. I'm under it. I'm through it. This has got to be, like take me to the river, okay? Because the Q storyline can go, okay? I'm tired of Q. I'm over Q. Q could go. I don't give a damn about Q or anything that he does, okay? Karen, child, how many episodes is it going to take us for her to read this letter? How many episodes is it going to take us for her to read this letter? Do we really have to hear it all? Can we pretend that we heard it and move on? Okay, is this going to be the closure? Is this going to be the end of it? Can we close this chapter and never look back and forget that it ever existed? Danny, who is this man that you are bringing home? Honey, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird. I could just do without it. It's weird, okay? Child, y'all. We're gonna try to make sense out of no nonsense. Okay, we're gonna try. All right, we're gonna take it from the top. This review should not be that long because this episode really did not have much to it. Okay, you guys. So shall we proceed? Yes, indeed. Okay. Now, we start out this episode, of course, we are at our girl Fatima house still. You know, Andy's over here trying to get help from Madam. We're getting the little introductions. They having a little girl talk. They sipping on some wine. And then they go ahead and say they're going to move it into the living room. And they are telling her how nice the place look, how far it came, you know, how much work has been put into it and all of that good stuff. And they go ahead and sit down. And Madam is like, okay, girl, get to it. What exactly did you call me over here for? And Fatima over here playing stupid, talking about something. What do you mean? I said, girl, get to the point. Tell her what you got her there for, you know. And Madam says the last time you had me come up over here was when I had to go ahead and beat the hell up out of, Hayden. Child, Madam, I wish you could beat him some more, okay? I wish you could stomp him in the damn ground, all right? And so Andy over here talking about, that was you? Yeah, that was me. She was like, why you saying it like that, okay? Andy was acting scared. So Andy over here like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? No problem. I ain't got nothing to say. Of course, they have not gave Andy all the tea on Madam. She don't fully understand, what is she dealing with. And she's over here talking about some, what's going on and acting like she's all shocked and appalled. So Angela was like, you ain't tell her. Andy saying, somebody tell me, please, okay? And so she's like, somebody, anybody, everybody. And, Madam says she just was going to sip on her wine. And so, Fatima tells her, Marilyn is my cousin. And she was like, yeah, you already told her that. She was like, but you didn't tell her how close we used to be until you decided to get into some legal shit. And when Andy's just like, oh, Madam is like, excuse me, are you judging me? Like, what the hell you mean by, and Andy's like, no. And she's like, well, what do you do? So when Andy told her she's a lawyer, she was like, now, okay, that might come in handy. Okay, I might actually be able to use you for something. You know what I'm saying? Now we are talking. All right. That's something I could work with. I might have just met my new girlfriend. And so Andy's like, oh, okay, and all smiling or whatever. Madam says she gonna drink to that. Like, cheers, all around. So now, we are trying to get into what exactly it is that she wanna ask Madam about. Now, in the meantime, we get over here to damn Karen and Karen and Zach, Karen's mama and Aaron. And she's saying, look, no matter how hard it is, we going to sit this out. We going to discuss it. Y'all going to listen. You know what I'm saying? She going to say what she got to say. Aaron trying to interject and Zach is getting pissed off like, please stop. Don't do that, dude. Don't say nothing to me. They arguing back and forth over who's the one that's stressing Karen. Karen talking about y'all both stressing me. I disagree, Karen. I feel like you stress yourself and you could eliminate a lot of this nonsense. But nonetheless, I digress. We going to move it along. And Mama says she ain't with the toxic masculinity. She want both of them to shut the hell up. sit they behinds there, because Zach kept getting up to say that he was going to leave. And Karen was like, yeah, this is what he always do when it gets tough, or you're saying something that he don't want to hear. His answer is to get up and get out the way and say that he's gone and not want to face things, or whatever the case may be, right? And Mama says she ain't having none of that. Whether we want to sit and hear it or not, we are going to do it. I don't get the hell the point of this, but like I said, child, if this is going to finally give the closure that is going to let everybody move on, please get this shit out the way, okay? And so, Karen over here being all emotional, or whatever the case may be. And, at one point she was saying, like, forget it, I don't even want to do it. And she was saying, just let him leave. And her mother was like, nah, she not letting nobody leave. This is going to get over with today. And so then Karen said, who should she start with? And her mom was like, whoever you want to, all right? So she, of course, decides to start with Aaron. She starts reading this letter to Aaron. She's all emotional, okay, and breaking down and crying. And she's just like, Aaron, I'm so sorry, okay? I have, you came into my life at a really strange time. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know you was going to be mine. Now, let me stop. She didn't say that part, but she did tell him that he came in a strange time. She was like, I was reeling off of these relationships, and I thought that I was going to be with this other man for the rest of my life. And I tried not to use you, but there was times that I felt like I was, and I know you felt it too. I know you felt it too, okay? And after everything you went through with your ex-wife and how everything started, I knew I was never going to trust nobody and never be the same. I felt like it was karma for all the bad things. Here it was, your wife thought we was messing around long before we was. It started out messy, and we both know that. And I just said, please, can we get through this scene? This scene was annoying me, y'all. I'm just going to keep it real, right? And she says, I didn't want to be with you at first or whatever, but you kept showing me the man that you were and all the things that you could do. And you waited, and I was waiting for you to switch up and show me something different and change and, be mean. But you stayed consistent, unlike Zach. Now, I don't understand why she had to put the unlike Zach. If you're writing this letter to Aaron, you should be saying what you feel to Aaron, and then turn around when it's time to write the one to Zach saying what you feel for him. But go ahead, girl. All right. So she's saying how she kept putting off things and how he offered him all these things that she wanted, and it was treating her the way she wanted to be treated, but by Zach, okay, not by him. At the end of the day, Zach was still really the one that she wanted to be with, and she was just like, it's almost like, so here goes Zach again jumping up, and she tells him to sit down again. He was like, please, she said, this ain't a request, this is an order, so Zach, go ahead and sit back down. So then, Karen continues, and she was like, it's almost like I wish that you could basically be him, or that I could have met you before I met him, before I met any of the guys that I had ever been with, right? Before. And, that we could have started off together, because then I would have probably been able to treat you the right way and accept you and all of this different kind of stuff. But because I didn't, that is basically why things are the way that they are, because basically I don't even know who I am at this point, because I've been through so much stuff and I carry so much stuff, with me, and it changed me. And then she was just basically like, I'm more damaged now and all of this different kind of stuff, right? You are basically getting the damaged person. And so because she met him second or whatever, right? And she, can't help that. And she don't even know who she is and what she want at times, or what kind of person that she is going to, be. And she's like, and you have to deal with this woman who has endured lying and cheating. And because of it, I fell in love with a damn fool. And mind you, Zach is over here like, and she's like, and all the damage that is done, and I don't know how I'm going to ever be. I don't know how to show you how I feel. I don't know that I can ever give you what you deserve. Girl, okay. So she was like, I just don't know what I could do right now. At this point, Zach is crying, and you got Aaron on the other side, damn crying, right? And she's telling him, I'm sorry that I put you through all of this or whatever, and I do truly, truly love you, okay? And so Aaron basically was saying that he understand, and then her mama was like, you do, because she said, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Now, the fact that he was acting like he was damn shocked at that part, I said, child, Aaron, you slow as hell, baby, okay? You're slow as hell, but she says she do love him, but not like, she loves Zach. We all knew that, okay? And she basically was saying everything hurts and she don't know how to fix it. So, like I said, Aaron basically was like, oh, I'm sorry that you feel that way, and I didn't realize that you felt that way. He was like, but I do understand. And that's when her mom is like, you do. And he said, yeah, at the end of the day, especially from what he came out with, from with his situation, he's been there. And at the end of the day, Karen was still there for him, and that she woke him up or whatever the case may be. And so mama started giving some speech about love, hate is, sort of like a circuit breaker, whatever the case may be. And she was basically saying is when you trip, it goes dead, and it's just like you don't feel anything or whatever. You be numb, and then you can't see the light. And I didn't really know where mama was going with that, to be honest. And she was like, and then somebody comes and they switch it back on, and you see the light again or whatever, right? And you start to feel again. And so Aaron talking about, that's beautiful, I get that or whatever. And she's like, yeah. So he was like, well, that's basically what I wanted to do with you or whatever. This is what Aaron says to Karen. And she says, well, what if I can't? And he tells her, it's worth a shot. So I said, child, whatever. To be honest with y'all, I did not care about this whole Karen part. Now, in the meantime, Robin up in the office, and he hear a noise talking about who's there, and Paris comes in like, I'm sorry, I didn't know somebody was still here. And he's like, it's all good. He was like, I just wanted to get the trash. So he's like, hey, you Paris? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, well, Angie? So he like, Andy. He's like, yeah, Andy Barnes, because he's like, you the janitor? And he's like, yep. So he's like, sorry, come here for a minute. And, here it is. You just start coming out your face wanting to ask him about Andy. And he like, Andy who? So he was like, Andy Barnes. And he was like, oh, yeah, one of the lawyers that work up in here, whatever. He was like, and by the way, who are you? Because he over here talking about how well do you know her? He was like, only from here. Like, why? Is there a problem with something? And so here go Robin, have you taken her out? He like, no. He was like, no. He was like, no, I'm sorry. Who are you? So he's like, oh, I'm Robin or whatever the case may be. I am actually, I own the firm. So he like, oh, that's right, the takeover. We did hear about that. He was like, nice, 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 man. So Robin is basically like, so you've never taken her out? And he's like, no. And he was like, oh, okay. So, at this point, Paris is like, why? Did you hear something? Did somebody say something differently? Like, I'm confused. What do you question me about it for? So he's like, no. He was like, okay, just making sure. So he was like, I mean, if you could take her out, you would, right? And he was like, well, she's a beautiful woman. Shit, yeah, who wouldn't want to? But she's definitely out of my league. And so Robin talking about something, you think so? And he was like, yeah, I'm the janitor or whatever, right? So basically, Robin was left with egg on his face and felt stupid. But I don't know what makes Robin feel like he has the right to sit here and question him about anything. Paris was telling him he gonna keep it down, and he was like, that's okay, I'm about to be leaving soon anyway. And that basically was the end of their conversation. So now, Robin, you feeling stupid. And I'm like, Paris held it together, was more of a man, more of a gentleman, okay, than Dan Robin was. At this point, it seemed like they about to switch up and change up Dan Robin character too, because he was not doing all this before, unless, Angie Cookies, okay, is over here making Dan Robin about to turn crazy like Gary. Is this not making no sense to me? Because like I said, we was not getting all this energy from him previously, or even right before when he left to go on the trip, and he was, basically inviting Andy to go with him. And don't you think it's mad random that somebody just sends you an email that's saying Andy is messing with the guy Paris that's the janitor? Why would they be emailing you that if anybody else besides damn Gary or whatever? Because how would they even know that you and Andy even had anything? So it's like, Robin, all of a sudden your brains is in your ass. I'm confused. But nonetheless, I digress. Moving on from that, we get Miss Danny. Of course, she's the only one that's actually been giving a damn about Sabrina and trying to find out what's going on with her. She's over here trying to call Andy, but of course Andy is still with Fatima and them, and she's at this bar where she told Mr. Airport to meet her at. And I'm trying to figure out, like, what was the point of him? Why did we bring this character in? Because he was annoying the hell up out of me, okay? She's there already, started drinking her drink. He get there, he's like, oh, you already ordered, okay? He like, give me whatever she's drinking and stuff like that. So she was saying, yeah, I'm stressed. And he was like, I get it. Yeah, I'll be stressed too. And he asked her what she was stressed about. And she was like, I really don't want to get into it and talk about it right here, right now. So he was like, okay. So he, she basically was telling him, oh, she messed with his dark liquor. Okay, she don't do the light. And he was like, that's fine. She was like, yeah, I just need to drink and smoke. And he was like, okay, I'll fill you with that. And she was like, do you smoke too? And he was saying, yeah. So she was like, okay, cool, my kind of man. So then she like, oh, you gonna tell me all about you? We gonna get to know each other. He was like, you gonna tell me about you too? And she was like, yeah, sure, you start. So he starts talking about, oh, my dad is a sharecropper. Then it's like, oh, that's a joke. I didn't get the joke. That was corny as hell. So then, she was like, yeah, I was about to say, because you would be in your 80s. I'm confused. She like, by the way, how old are you? It's like he hesitates. 1 minute he's saying 34, then he switches to 38. Then she's like, show me your ID. And he telling her to stick her hand in his front pocket or whatever to dig it out. And she's like, yeah, okay, you being mad extra. I don't know what kind of woman you think I am or whatever. You think you about to get something? And he was like, well, if you're over here telling me to buy drinks, then yeah, I think that I would be getting something. And then she's like, well, what do you think the ratio is between drinks and my ass? Because this is a whole lot of ass or whatever. I don't see you, spending that much where you would qualify for that. And it's like, well, what are we doing here if it's not that and all this other different kind of stuff? And he's just like, oh, like he has such a nasty demeanor, such nasty freaking jokes. They were weird. They were corny. They were just turning me off. I said, Danny, ain't that much stress in the world. Ain't that much loneliness in the damn world, honey. I would have left him sitting right there at that damn bar. He could have went ahead and paid whatever tab was left. And I would have been home drinking my own damn drinks in my house by myself, okay? That would have been a turn off for me immediately, okay? Because he was doing too much and it wasn't cute or funny to me at all. It was like he came off much more like sincere, whatever the case may be, at the airport. And then all of a sudden now you come to the bar and it's like you just over here making it seem like she supposed to be this prostitute or this hoe or something. I don't know. I was just confused at where we was going with this. And so, nonetheless, we get back to Andy and and Madam is asking where's Zach, and she was like, oh, he stepped out for a minute, but he will be back or whatever. So then they get down to it, like, what exactly is the issue? What is it exactly that you need help with? So Fatima's telling Andy, like, tell her what it is. So she started to tell her, like, I got this friend, because, Angela cuts in and was like, her favors are pretty costly. And Fatima was like, I told her that already. So she finally tells her about Sabrina, but really she just was like, my friend, she done got accused of this bank robbery, but she didn't have nothing to do with it, and so on and so forth. And Madam already knew, Sabrina's name. She like, you talking about Sabrina Hollis? So she was like, how the hell you know? She was like, girl, anytime I walk in the room, all right, I know what's going on and what I'm dealing with beforehand. So she like, go on, what else is going on? What do you need? So she was like, well, I'm having the hardest time finding any information. I can't find out where she is, what happened to anything. So she was like, that's all you need from me. And then, Andy like, yeah, can you help me? And she's like, yeah, let me get my phone, girl. What you talking about? Give me a minute, okay? Where's my purse? So she goes step in the damn kitchen for a minute and she come right back in, like, because Fatima told her, like, it's handled, okay? She gonna handle it. And she was like, handle it? She was like, what do you mean? She was like, okay, Fatima, I'm really confused. We need to talk. We need to have some conversation. She was like, what? She was like, yeah, family, she said, was this gonna be legal or not legal? They said, oh yeah, no, girl, it's not gonna be legal, all right? And Angela was saying she don't know the half of it. And Andy's like, half of what? Like, girl, what is going on? And so Fatima was saying she knows what she needs to know now. In the meantime, Andy keeps saying, Angela, please tell me, what is it? But Fatima's going, it's family business, okay? So she was like, girl, in the meantime, Andy said, I guess it run in the blood. And Angela was like, yes, it does. So now, she go ahead and she come back in there and she's like, okay, girl, yeah, I found her. She at the county jail. You could be able to make this call and go in and see her tomorrow, whatever the case may be. They are trying to charge her with this damn, robbery, and they are also saying that they have a recording of, because she's scheduled to see the judge on Monday or whatever, and she gives Andy the number or whatever, and she was like, they also saying they have Maurice Webb on a recording saying that they both were in on the robbery, which, Andy did find out about that part. So she's like, well, can I call her now? She said, girl, sure. She'll get you in tomorrow. So Andy like, awesome. So Andy was like, I don't mean to overstep or whatever and be too nosy, but how the hell you get this information this fast? And I've been trying to call around and find out stuff and I can't find out nothing. Okay, who's this contact you got? So Madam is basically like, is a judge. She was like, girl, she basically likes to come up in my club and be with the dancers in my club, honey. And so she doesn't like to pay. And so this is her way that, I'm saying, she pays. When I call, she jumps or whatever. So, Andy's like, oh, okay. She was like, yeah, got a video and everything. So Andy's like, oh. So she was like, yeah, she don't want none of this or whatever, right? So then she was asking Andy what's with all the O's, which is funny because every minute they be like, oh, oh, oh. So she was like, Fatima, you didn't tell her. So of course they like, no, we didn't, and Angela talking about I tried to. And so she was like, oh, okay, sweetheart, I'm a gangster. Okay, that's what boils down to. I'm a gangster and I handle shit. And Andy's like, I see. So she was like, and what kind of lawyer you? Andy talking about a divorce lawyer. She said, shit, girl, what the hell I'm going to do with a damn divorce lawyer? I can't do nothing with no damn divorce lawyer. I need a, criminal damn attorney. So Andy talking about, well, I know a lot of criminal attorneys. She said, well, that's good. I'm going to hold you to that. Okay, sis? So Andy over here talking about, okay. Now, in the meantime, she's like, you've been very helpful. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Madam is like, you're welcome. She was like, look, if there's any problems, what I'm saying, you let me know. And Andy is like, I will. So now we hearing Fatima say he keeps calling. Maybe you want to go ahead and call him back and see what's going on. And Andy is like, yeah, let me take this. Excuse me for a minute, ladies. And she go ahead and step into the, kitchen area while they still basically saying they're talking amongst themselves. And, Madam is basically like, yeah, so, what's really going on? What's the truth? She was like, I'm liking her so far, whatever. And so Angela was saying it's hard to know when Madam likes somebody or not. She was like, well, I like her so far. So, Fatima was like, good. She's a really good boss. And, Madam was like, she seems like it. So she was like, but girl, in the meantime, if you want to come back to the club, you could be making some real money. And then Fatima's like, nah, I'm good on that. I'm not trying to go back there or whatever, right? And so here come Angela. Oh, well, what about your man? And we need to talk about your man and get back to that conversation about your man. I'm like, girl, why are you going so hard for her to tell Madam about Zach or whatever, right? And so Madam's like, yeah, come on, let's talk about it. So she brings up, of course, Karen mother calling her for her to go over there, whatever. And she was like, yeah, that ain't the only part. Tell her the rest of it. Because, girl, when she told me, I didn't believe it or whatever. And Fatima just keep looking at her like, shut the hell up, girl. So she tells her how, they actually had invited her too. And she was like, well, girl, why we ain't there? Okay, let's go. Why you didn't go there? And so, Fatima's like, nah, nope, not going over there. I'm good on that. And so they was like, well, obviously, then you don't want her to stop disrespecting you because until you go and you check it and you sit there too or whatever the case may be, you're going to continue to keep having the problems. And Fatima's like, nah, I'm good. Madam telling her she needs to set her ass straight or whatever the case may be, right? But then Angela's like, I mean, she is pregnant, okay? So we don't want to go over there and be catching no charges, in other words, right? But they do feel like she should be going there, and saying something. And Fatima's pretty much like, nah, I'm good on that. Now, in the meantime, when Andy stepped out to make this call, because when they kept saying, he keep calling, I'm thinking it's damn Gary, but I should have known it was damn Robin damn ass because of now the fact, that he had finally got to speak to Paris and he feeling stupid. Now he want to go ahead and give, Andy a call, and he probably put two and two together at the same time that this probably more than likely has something to do with Gary, because what coincidence would it be that Gary pops up there to want to do this business venture and at the same time stays behind to have this conversation with him in the office where he's over here, how he gonna get back with her and be able to do all these different things with her. So between that and the fact of him now having the conversation with Paris and him saying that, nothing ain't happened between them and all of that, or he never been out with her, Now he want to sit here and try to call damn Andy to tell her that he needs to talk to her. And of course, Andy is in her feelings as she should be. I do not blame her, even though we know this probably only gonna last 2 damn seconds, where she really don't want to be bothered with him. Like, if it's not about, whatever you got to tell me for work or whatever the case may be, you made yourself clear, you know what I'm saying? You got all up in my behind and was telling me I ain't even know how to do my damn job right. And I was like, yes, boss. So now when she calls him back, she's like, yes, sir. And he talking about I was wrong. And she was like, I'm sorry, is there a problem at work? And he was like, Andy, can I just tell you what happened? And she was like, is there a problem with a client? Is a client unhappy? So he was like, so you just want to talk about work? And he was like, I deserve that. And she was like, if it's not about work, please don't call me, okay? So she stood her ground a little bit. And so he was like, this is not about work. And he just let me. And she was like, good night. And she hang up the damn phone. Now, in the meantime, we get to Raggedy Ass Q, y'all. I don't give a damn about his storyline. I'm so sick of him. I'm so mad at Tyler Perry for even putting this freaking person in this damn show that I don't even know what to do no more. For some kind of way, he ends up getting back in, even though the locks was changed. Calvin want to know how he got in. He's saying he have ways. Calvin want to talk about you so grimy. How could you not care? How could you live with yourself like this? Because he's a piece of crap. What the hell you want? Like, you really think he gonna give you a damn answer? Then he telling him he needs to go. He's saying he not gonna go nowhere. Then he start making all these different jokes about how, Calvin got beat up before. He know about Calvin getting beat up at the bank. He know about Calvin with the vibrators. Why spend money on the vibrator when he could go ahead and get something from him and all this other stuff? And Calvin basically ended up telling him that he got something for him and that he was leaving and he was gonna be back. And he was like, oh, why you leaving? Why you going? And he want to say how, Maurice told him all this stuff about him. So that's how he know. And he's like, oh yeah, please walk away from me. Child, bye. Okay, who gives a damn about them? So then we get back to them, Fatima and Andy come back over as they're having this discussion about, Karen and this acting and her saying that she not gonna go over there or whatever. And Madam saying, well, fine, this bitch gonna continue to be a problem. And so when Andy come over, she's like, you good? And she was like, oh yeah, I just told him not to contact me unless it gotta do with work. And she was like, good. So she, Andy tells them she gonna go ahead and head home now, and it was nice meeting them and things, madam, and all of that. And so Fatima's like, okay, cool. So once she leaves, Madam and Angela was like, she going to see that dude. Okay. Oh yeah, she going over there. And Fatima was like, you think so? I don't think so. She was like, nah, she just going home. So in the meantime, Zasia comes turning up the damn music, child. Why the hell she decided to do that then and then, I do not know. And Fatima was like, yeah, this is another one. This the chick I got to be dealing with, due to the situation where she be trying to get attention from Zach and put this music on and either have Zach call over there or go over there. And then Madam is like, oh, really? So at first Fatima was like, I can handle it. I got it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about it or whatever. But then she was like, you know what? As a matter of fact, let's take a stroll over there. And they was like, yeah, let's. So they all go out there and Fatima knock on the door. And here comes Asia trying to be freaking cute, talking about some, oh, well, you lucky I didn't press charges with you, hitting me in my hand, because she come out all smiling. And they was like, ain't nothing to smile about. You could drop the smile because, Zach ain't here. It's just me or whatever. So she was like, look, girl, I let you talk all your mess and you slammed my hand and I didn't press no charges and all that. Basically repeating what she had already said before. She's like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of you, talking mess and acting like you gonna bully me and coming over here to my damn doorstep thinking you can make me shut up, and I'm gonna keep on talking. I'm sick of you coming to my house. I pay my rent and your man knows I pay my rent. You always acting like you so much better, and y'all keep messing with me all the time because you a little lawyer and you think you classy because you wearing shit like that. And she going on and on and on. In the meantime, Madam came up and was like, and she turned around, Madam, she said the one and only. Okay, and what's going on? Finish what you was saying. Talk that shit you was talking. She like, oh, no, girl. I'm good. She was like, no. Tell her what you was going to tell her. Say what you was going to say. Oh, no, girl. I'm good. I'm sorry. I didn't know y'all know each other. How do y'all know each other? I said, girl, you can't be asking questions. Doesn't make a difference. But Madam said, that's my cousin. Now what? She was like, Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I done heard about you. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? She was like, how you know me? She was like, oh, well, I heard some things. She said, what things you heard? She was like, I'm a dancer, madam. She said, okay, and so what do you mean you know about my reputation? What do you know about me? She was like, I heard some things. She said, what things? Break it down, girl. Okay, what things have you heard? Well, I just heard you ain't one to be messed with, okay? Because she was like, what do you know exactly? And she was like, I heard that you don't play. And madam was like, yeah, I sure the hell don't at all, okay? I don't play about my damn money and I don't play about my blood. So now what? Okay, because if I have to come back over here, things is going to be getting messed up. And so she was like, and that's your blood. She was like, yeah, and do you get how I'm feeling about my blood? So, Deja's like, yeah. So she was like, I was just playing with her. At one point, she tried to say she had Tourette's. Then she talking about she was trying to practice for a show. She said, I know you better apologize to my damn cousin. So she started singing and she was like, no, 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 no. Then she gonna talk about Fatima, and Fatima was like, don't call me that bitch. She was like, Fatima, I apologize. Okay, I'm so sorry. She was like, girl, I've been in here stressed out. I was arguing with somebody earlier and you done caught the tail end of it, and I wasn't trying to do that to you and your beautiful friends. I didn't mean none of that. Okay, and she, Fatima said, I like the way she talking now. She said, I apologize. I'm cool. You ain't gonna have no more problems out of me. We good, okay? So madam told her, if I have to come back over here, girl, and we gonna have this conversation. She said, and as a matter of fact, it probably won't even be me that come. I will be sending somebody. It better not be no flirting with her man. It better not be no loud music. If she tells me anything about anything, I don't know what size the damn speaker is that you got in your house, but trust and believe, honey, that shit gonna end up being your coffin. I said, okay, now break it on down. So we shouldn't be having no more problems, okay? When Miss Zasia, she said, and you have a good night. And, Zasia over here talking about, y'all have a good night. That really brings out the color in your eyes, what you were wearing, girl. You too beautiful. You look nice and all of that. And she go ahead in the house. So Fatima and, go walking away. Now, I was confused as to why Fatima and Angela walked all the way around the bushes and Madam just walked straight through. Okay, but we gonna roll with it, all right? And so they go ahead and they go back inside the house. Now, in the meantime, Danny get home and Danny done drag this weirdo home with her. Why, Danny? Like I said, are you really that lonely? Are you really that lonely? Because it's giving pathetic. You drag him back home. He talking about where's the bedroom. As soon as he walk in the door, she's like, wait, what? She was like, you just walking in my house and you gonna ask me where the bedroom is? He was like, well, that's what we here for, right? I'm like, ugh. So she was like, look, I haven't decided yet. Maybe we are, maybe we not. If I say that we are, then we will. And if I say that we not, then we won't. And he was like, I don't get no say in this. Excuse me? Like, all of that would have turned me off, Danny. I would have never brought him home to begin with. That was just disgusting to me, okay? So she like, we gonna have some more drinks, no chase or whatever, just straight shots. And then he basically was like, yeah, or whatever. So they saying how they drunk and they high, and being as though they drunk and high, that is even more reason why he thought that that's what they was coming back to do. And she basically was like, well, just let it be known that when guys is out here doing their thing, nobody cares, nothing about it. But if it's a woman, they be like, oh, she's a hoe, she's this way, she's that way. She was like, I'm just trying to be out here, living my best life or whatever, right? And having a good time or whatever. He was like, okay, I get it. So she gets to a point where she's like, well, what are you working with? How does your body look underneath there? And he talking about some flowers. And she was like, yeah, you might not want to tell me about flowers. That's not the way, I want to hear you describe yourself. And he over here talking about some, you show me yours, I'll show you mine type of thing or whatever. And then, child, I don't know what was happening. She just was basically like, come here, because she was telling him he could pretty much see what she working with. And she touching him, and all of a sudden he's like, I almost. And she was like, you almost what? And he was like, but then she gets the call from Andy or whatever, because she actually was like, yeah, never mind. I don't think this is a good idea. And then he still was telling her, like, let him show her, what he working with. And so she gets the update call from Andy where she's telling her, that she spoke to, Fatima's cousin, and she's trying to help out, and they're going to, see what's going on with Sabrina tomorrow. And so Fatima was, Danny was like, I'm coming with you. She was like, you're going to basically tell them that I'm your assistant. And Andy was like, okay, fine. So Andy's hearing the noises in the background like, what the hell is that? What's going on or whatever? And, Danny trying to play it off like nothing. But then homeboy comes right out his face like, you gonna come on, girl? Oh, everything about him just turned me off, child. That would have made me dried up like I don't know what, honey. But nonetheless, I digress. Danny crawling all on the floor and trying to get away from him and trying to tell him shush or whatever. So at this point, Andy hears him and she's like, girl, tell him I said hi. So then when she's checking her voicemail, is a voicemail from Paris that's letting her know that, what's his name, daggone Robin had hit him up and was asking him questions or whatever. So now she hits back Paris and Paris is like, no time, no speak to. And he's like, oh, so no small talk, because she's basically like, now what you said, he said, like, I done got your message, what's going on? So he was like, I don't know, but he was in here asking questions and I thought that it was a little weird and I thought it was something that, you should know, because I really didn't know where that came from. And when he was saying like, damn, well, no small talk or whatever, she was saying she's sorry that, it had just really been a long day. And he was like, well, he just randomly started asking me questions if I knew you, if I had dated you. So he was like, she was like, well, what did you say? He said, man, I ain't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? I just said I knew you from here. So she was like, I see. So he was like, but that wasn't cool though. And she was like, yeah, you right, it's not. So when she go ahead and, hang up the phone from him or whatever the case may be, he was saying he didn't know what he was trying to get at. And she was like, I don't know either. So when she, hung up, she's like, what are you up to? Girl, I don't know what he up to, and I don't know what none of y'all up to at this point, y'all. But that was basically the episode, y'all. Actually, we basically had got back to the whole, Zach and Aaron and Karen thing. She crying. Apparently she had needed a break. It was at one point that Zach had called up Fatima and was like, if she don't come out here in the next 20 minutes, I'm leaving, because now she's saying she need a damn break. And I guess Fatima decided to listen to Madam and them. And so once, just as they was about to start the session again, and Karen, and her mother comforting her, whatever, saying, you ready? She said, yeah. When they all sat down to finally get it out, and, Zach is like, it's my turn. And, her mom is saying, yeah, she's ready. Is a knock at the door. And when her mother opens the door, is basically Fatima like, yeah, I'm Zach girlfriend. Okay, I'm looking for him. All right. So she about to join the party, honey. That was the episode, y'all. Put it in the comments. Tell me what y'all think is going down. Maybe it will be a little bit better next week, because we will have Fatima in the house. It was nice seeing Madam up here, but other than that, she was really the only thing in this episode, because baby, all the rest of it just was not doing anything for me, and this review still ended up being long. But that's all I got, y'all. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you are so inclined. Give me a wave. Let me know you came by. Put some flames up in the sky. All right, y'all.